What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for the week of April 5th through the 11th of 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope that you had a great Easter, great weekend, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please become a member to the site below, fixedairmoon.com. Get daily content, lots of extra stuff, and I go into these charts much deeper and more elaborate. And not so just kind of run through for this particular show. But it's a very, very interesting and amazing week. I would say, to sum it up, we've gotten so much information over this last lunar cycle and even over the last year of our lives, and even the last 6 months of our lives especially. We have gotten so much big information that's come in, and we're at such a defining time, and there's so many harmonious aspects taking place in the chart right now. There's beautiful opportunities out there and beautiful connections, and the most amazing part is you understand it this week. It makes sense. You don't feel as lost. But there's also aspects about this week to where if you don't act on the information that you know is going to define and pioneer a better way forward for you, you can kind of miss the boat. And that's the only issue, is that if you're just going to kick back and relax, but you know you've gotten information to have something better in life from all aspects of your personal world, there's so much empowerment in acting. You really want to take action and define the information and truths and speak up for it, communicate it, and express it, especially with this Mercury now in Aries, making mutual reception or sharing reception with Mars in Gemini. Information, definition, action is powerful right now, and you want to use that to your benefit. It's going to be such an ally this week for you, as we really have a crescendo on Sunday at the end of the week with this new moon in Aries closing out really the last astrological year as well as the last lunar cycle in Pisces. I mean, we are full on in it's like a whole new world that we come into starting next week. And I have some stuff to show you about that. It's a whole different switch up. It's a whole new game, and it becomes very accelerated, and life is already accelerated right now, and time is moving very fast. There is a layer of what's happening this week that wants you to empower yourself through change, but also start new things, have your ideas come out, and also hold on to the important things that are the biggest and greatest connection that you've already acquired in your journey and within your own wisdom. And those are the most important things too with the Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, is making sure that you're connecting to what's innovative and intelligent and connecting dots and going into an energetic world that makes the most sense. So let's take a look at the charts. Monday here is the moon's day. That moon's going to come into Aquarius. It's going to be there till Wednesday. It's doing a lot, and it's really kind of a spaceship ride Monday through Wednesday into really defining connections in life. It's going to meet with Saturn. It's going to square Uranus. Late Monday night is when that's going to happen, and trine the North Node. It's going to sextile Mercury and Chiron. I mean, it really is a spaceship ride to start the week into connections, into the independence you want, into a lot of almost having that authority and responsibility to really connect to the information that's found you, because you have the truth. You have that all within you. Mercury is doing such a big favor for us. And if we look here, Mercury and Mars are sharing mutual reception, +5, +6. Like, they're ready to go. And the Sun at +8, Saturn at +8, Jupiter at +2. I mean, we start off the week with some really positive energy. And the moon's only a -5 because it's approaching Saturn and square Uranus. And Uranus is like really accelerating the spaceship. Like, where do you want to connect in life, and how are you going to define that? You got to push in that direction. You got to communicate what you want. That's where the empowerment's at. That's where it gets good. And Venus and Mars are also in sextile. So, relationships are going to be a big deal this week, with this week ending with a Pluto Venus square on the new moon. Exact. Like, there's a major crescendo coming into the physical aspect of our life, finding what empowers us, moving in that direction. Like, Aries is all about the movement, and it's movement forward. And not only is it instinctual, but it's very intellectual now with Mercury and Mars. So you don't have to it's not even just acting on instincts. It's like you already know, like, not only are your instincts and your gut pulling you in a direction that you want to go, but your mind is finally clear and like, yeah, these are the areas, this is where I want to go. So Monday is like hopping in the spaceship to connecting to a world that you already know you want to move into. You just don't want to not act on it. You have to take the action. And there's a lot of, besides for the moon squaring Uranus, like, everything's very, very harmonious with all the planets right now. And even Venus is right at the midpoint with a sextile to Jupiter and Saturn, which is, really opening up the doors to what is innovative, what's creative, going in that direction, defining it for yourself, defining what jobs, what money, what physical things make you feel good. It's almost like and it could be even what made you feel good before actually doesn't feel creative or innovative anymore. And now you just, kind of have to have the courage to pull the trigger and open up a new door and not, and have the courage to walk through that new door into this sort of new world, this spaceship that we really do kind of step into a spaceship. And Mars is starting to square over to Neptune this week. So that brings a lot of compassion. And that also can, like, if you're worrying about what other people want more than your own wants and needs, like, you're not going to be able to make these big decisions and take these big actions for a more connected space for yourself this week. Coming to Tuesday, it is Mars Day, so it's already sort of an action day, and we get Mars is going to come to 20 degrees and be 1 degree away from that square to Neptune. This is where we're either going to spell ourselves into not taking action and to still being confused, even though we've gotten so much information already. We have connected the dots. We've seen what the universe has to offer. Things are much more narrow and defined right now, even within our mind. Are we just gonna get lazy and slip or spell ourselves into thinking we can't switch up our reality to something better? When really it's like there's amazing things taking place. The moon at the midpoint of Jupiter and Saturn. Also, it's going to sextile the sun and Venus on Tuesday. So there's this is where it's like, if you got on the spaceship, you're probably stoked. You're like, here we are. Look at this new world. It's amazing. And I feel so free. And there's an independence with these two signs, Aries and Aquarius. There can be a freedom too. And with the moon crossing over Jupiter, it can expand things. It can show you a whole new future, a whole new way forward with groups, with friends, connections, all aspects that you really might want to connect to, but you have to have that courage to, first of all, get on the spaceship, and then the courage to go into the new world, like, excited for it. And I think that's very important too, is like, this is an exciting week. Like, you do not want to get yourself in some position where you're not looking at all the benefits that can come from, in many ways, like, responsible decisions for your best connection in life. Saturn North Node, which are going to make the exact trine. And it's a trine, so it's harmonious, and it's like, you need to be responsible for things in your life that you want to define, and information that's already come in through months or even a year, and even this lunar cycle. Like, we have been hit with signs and synchronicities over and over and over again in our personal lives. we got to go into that magic. And Mars square Neptune, that can be absolute magic. Like that can be the universe like giving you everything that you need for the taking. You just have to reach out and grab it. It reminds me of like the Four of Cups. Like the God's given the cup of, exactly what the person wants, but it's like you get to choose if you want to take that cup or if you want to worry about some stuff that's spilt over in front of you. So it has that feel to me of like there's something amazing right there. You can feel it. You got to go in and experience it. And it's like go and connect to that experience and see what's out there. See what's coming. That moon is also going to trine Mars. So there's like electricity. I would say Tuesday's very electric. Like you're going to either feel extremely empowered, ready to go in that direction. The sun is also sextile that midpoint of Jupiter, Saturn. Like a whole new world is out there, and you can innovate it and create it and move in that direction for yourself. But you can also not. Venus is still in sextile, moving off of. It's not applying anymore, and it's exact, but it is separating from the sextile to Mars, but it's starting to apply to the sextile to Jupiter. So like, if you were able to take action for your truth when it came to physical action, the goodness, what makes you feel good in life, other people, relationships, like there's Jupiter here, like backing you up. Like, yeah, there's more connections. There's a whole new world. There's gifts out there. Don't worry if you had to make a big decision for yourself. So it's a great action decision day on Tuesday. Wednesday we finish up with the moon in Aquarius, and it really, it's like it saw every aspect of the connection that it wanted, and it saw that there's gifts out there. Jupiter and Venus are like, yeah, there are really some feel good things. I just got to sort of keep going in the expanse, keep expanding on my individuality and what I truly want in life to make me feel good. Because Mars 1 degree away from Neptune now is like, you can really be, that's the problem, is you can be overly compassionate, and we are closing out a Pisces lunar cycle to where you don't want to do what's best for yourself because you're too worried about what other people will think, and you're not going to act. And Saturn's like, no, you have to take authority for yourself and your connections in life right now, because the people in our life are extremely important right now, and you want to have people on your tribe, and you got to connect to that tribe. And if you're not in it right now, don't hold yourself back from something bigger, something better. And Mercury's starting to get really close to Chiron. It's going to get within a degree on this Wednesday. So the understanding of your empowerment is like going to unlock doors within courage, within your own self-expression. And you want to be able to express things and get things off your back. If you have to have big conversations, there's healing in those conversations that starts to come up on Wednesday, especially Thursday, that are really going to make, huge changes. Like it's huge upgrades to our mind and sort of our own, being vulnerable enough to express what we want or what we desire, and to not just, not act on things or not have the talks or not, go in the direction we want, because Neptune's like almost paralyzing us with a square to Mars. Like we don't want to feel paralyzed right now. It's like there's so many beautiful aspects and so many great connections and so many amazing things that you can start and listen to and go in that direction from the universe, that there's major gifts out there. So you have to go in that direction. You have to go get the gift. Thursday is Jupiter Day, of course, and it's 3 degrees from Mars. Mars is still applying that trine. So like, really going in and having the courage to have a belief that you can have something better and to open up those weird doors, because Jupiter and Aquarius are very strange, weird, unique doors, and you don't want to like walk up to the door and be like, this isn't what I'm used to seeing, not go through it, when there's the gift. There's all that you could have possibly wanted, all the stimulation, all the excitement, and intellectually you know it. And Chiron and Mercury's just skipping, going almost 2 degrees a day, 153. Like, quick action, fast. It is such that week where the time is going to go so fast. You're going to have so much information come through, and you got to act on that because there's healing and empowerment in that. That moon in Pisces is definitely bringing up sensitivities, and I would say that it is sensitive too, with Mars in the exact square to Neptune. Like, what is the big picture? And how do you not escape from the action you know you need to take? And that moon's going to square the nodes. It's not quite going to square Mars yet, and it's not quite going to get to Neptune yet. But it's like there's this big moment here where you have to take, it's a balancing act, because you know you have to take action. You know you have to define. Venus is at 22 degrees, 2 degrees away from the sextile to Jupiter, still sextiling with Mars. Like, there's this big gift when it comes to what makes you feel good and what sort of physical world you want to have, but you still have to act and define it and open that door. The door is not going to open itself. And I think that that's the biggest thing, is like there's certain things that you have to do to have the right connections with people, to have the right, whether it's a job or how you create income or money with Venus. Like, if you're not happy in those things, if you're not feeling connected, you have to take the information that you're giving and, speak up for what you want as well. And that sun at 19 degrees is at its exaltation degree. It's its most powerful degree in Aries. So it's an amazing day to illuminate the aspects of the world that you want to go in that direction with power, vigor, strength, courage, very like warrior spirit, to have those things and to connect to bigger things, even to connect to, let God guide you, let source take you in the direction that, and listen to that. And not only just listen, but act on exactly the gifts that are trying to find you right now. And that moon's also going to sextile with Uranus. So Thursday is such a gift of a day, because you can be accelerated to the most amazing, divine life that you want to push forward with coming into this next week, this real powerful new moon that's taking place on Sunday. And it can accelerate you to exactly the physical world and environment and connections that you want, and open up so many doors. But if you're just not going to listen or take in the signs or express your truth, and if you're not going to define the life you want really by Thursday, like you might not get the gift. I mean, of course you still could, but this is like great astrology for taking some weird path to opening up whole new beliefs, whole new connections in life, and going in that direction. It's like, I think the universe wants to deliver us magic, but we have to act on it with that Mars-Neptune square. Friday, Venus Day. Venus is 1 degree away. It's actually going to, it's exactly 1 degree. So it will, by the end of Friday into Saturday, be making that exact sextile to Jupiter. If you have to make a big decision, if you had to make a divine call within relationships or connections or the physical things that you want, Jupiter is like, got you, backup's here. You deserve this. You expanded, you connected to what you really wanted. Aries just goes for what it wants. It doesn't even really think about it. And even with Mercury there, it's like, yeah, I know what I want. I'm just going to go ahead and get it. That's what makes sense. Why would I stop myself from that? And Jupiter's like, yep, you connect to that individuality. You connect to the world that you want. You got it. You can have it. It's yours. And that moon's going to cross over Neptune, which is extremely psychic. It's extremely, dreamy. This is where, and the moon's going to enter that dark moon phase as well, as it comes balsamic, coming up to Sunday for the new moon. There are amazing things that you can really close out in your life, and they're amazing because they are divine and they're meant for the next stage, the next year, really this whole next year. Because this is full-on Aries season that we're jumping into. And it's a complete shift from the energy that we've felt over the last year. And it's fast and it's accelerated, and all these planets are direct, so everything is extremely fast and accelerated just from that perspective. And the sun comes to that third decan of Aries, where we are really defining what the ego wants, and not just like what the ego wants, but what the soul wants from the ego, because your soul wants you to define some sort of mission, some sort of path forward in this life. And this is where we come to that sort of place where we've gone in the spaceship, we've seen the other world, and now we get to fully sort of, are we going to go and connect to that universe, into that story, go in that direction? And that moon's also going to square Mars. So, I mean, it is definitely, when you get the psychic hit, when you get that feeling on Friday, you need to act on it, because it's going to bring you something better. It's going to bring you something amazing. Come into Saturday, which is Saturn Day, of course. This is where things start to get really interesting. We have the exact Jupiter and Venus sextile. Venus is 1 degree away from the square to Pluto. So this is where this weekend's interesting. This weekend's where big things can topple over. There can be an extreme sense of empowerment if you've listened to the signs throughout the week and you've done the right things to make you feel more comfortable, to connect you to the right people, to be in the right relationships that your soul knows you want to define, that you know, that feel comfortable, that feel stimulating and aligned. It's like all there for the taking. Jupiter is still backing this up with the gifts. If you're gonna connect to the new, if you're gonna connect to what's innovating and pushing and going in a better direction, it's like, if you were willing to open up the door to the next level and level up, this is it can be extremely empowering, where you go deep into your own sort of courage and your own mission and what you want long term in life with Pluto, and you're ready to start those things. And it could be a huge initiation for that. But if you were sleeping this week, or, couldn't act, if you were paralyzed with the Mars Neptune square and not sort of taking in and acting on that divine inspiration, that divine, information really too, with Mars here in Gemini, like for something, better, it could be a very, very interesting weekend with a dark moon. Like, things are already closing out. And that moon moves into Aries, meets with Chiron. There is definitely a lot of Saturday's a big check. Like, did you follow the signs and listen to your heart and define from that place, or did you get paralyzed and not make the decision, or not get on the spaceship to at least see something better, or act upon objective information that actually was better in your life, and you just kind of stayed in something similar? Like, it can be a day where you feel very, very victimized almost by the universe, and it could draw out a lot of heavy feelings and heavy emotions. And I would hate for anybody to feel that way, because there's so much healing and empowerment in this week, and you could literally be tearing down aspects that don't make you feel good in life, so that amazing a whole new story, a whole new connection can blossom if you're in a place where you're feeling like you need that. And I know a lot of us are. I mean, looking at my own life, I'm right there, like, too. So these are big. It's a big week, and Mercury too on that Saturday is sextile Saturn. So, like, you have got to define what you want, and you have to take authority and be the boss of it. So there is this energy of, like, you got to be the boss of the world you want to connect to as we close out this astrological year, this lunar cycle. I mean, it is full on into a new year, a new system. And are you ready to go in that direction? Mercury's also making good aspects to the nodes on Friday and Saturday. So, like, you have all the information, you've gotten all the signs, you have to communicate what you want, express and understand and act. It's such quick energy too, like, because you already know, you've already gotten the signs. How do you switch up at the drop of a hat if you need to for something better? Have that strength to communicate, have that courage, because there is a gift there with Jupiter and Venus, and it's the two benefics, and it's a beautiful aspect. And I think that if you're willing to drop an old story, to drop something that's not making you feel defined and empowered and comfortable in life, and it's not even about comfort, because it's kind of it's an uncomfortable weekend. It's almost like you have to go through uncomfortable situations to move into comfortable situations, but then the universe has a funny way of taking you right back into uncomfortable situations. But that is growth. That's the saying, right? There's no growth in comfort. This is a major grow up day on Saturday, especially being Saturn day. I mean, it is such a grow up day to where you're dissolving aspects that no longer serve you physically and mentally, and you're acting to make those things, to pioneer a new way forward that you desire for whatever it is in your life. We don't always have to tear down everything, but I guarantee there's aspects in every one of our lives right now where we're like, there's a better way. And this is that week where you act on that better way because you know it's better at this point. There's no need to second guess it. Finish off with Sunday. We got the new moon in Aries. I don't know why that doesn't want to. There we go. New moon in Aries, 22 degrees. I want to emphasize this 22 degrees because we have had the last 6 months of our new moons have been at 23 degrees. The very mercurial to 5. It has been information nonstop in the energy of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We have gotten in very mature, these are more mature energies. These are the last 7 signs. These are where it starts to deal with responsibilities, expansion, getting to the bottom of how you feel and being secure in that and connecting to different wild out of this world stuff. And then finally like seeing the whole picture. And it's like we have seen all of that. This is a major like grow up moment for our soul in so many ways. And we've taken in so much information. And now we get 4, which is Uranus. And we have Saturn and Uranus squaring off all year. So this is where we see accelerated change. And it's accelerated push forward into a different direction. It's accelerated pioneering, independence. There's so much healing there. There's amazing things that can take place when we're making the smart and innovative changes that we've already gotten the information for and just going in that direction fearlessly. It's so funny I brought up the 4 cups and then, we come to this 4 because that's that energy where it's like there's something amazing that's being offered, but it's change, it's different, it's a little weird. Are we going to empower ourselves with that? I think we should. Mars, sextile the new moon. Jupiter, sextile the new moon. Pluto, square Venus, exact for the new moon. This is a wild new. This new moon is going to feel more intense than the full moon did. I'm just going to say it. Like this is where you have to move in a direction. It's a very divine direction. It's a very empowering one. Even Neptune still squaring Mars with 2-degree orb, and Neptune in semi-sextile to the new moon. Like there is literally the 4 cups. And there's an amazing gift of empowerment and courage and what direction do you want to go and where are the connections in your life and how do you grow up and make those responsible choices for something better and not just let them escape you. And Jupiter's right there backing it up too. Like Jupiter's saying there's amazing things out there that you can connect to, and Mars and Jupiter are within 2 degrees in a trine. I mean, it's a major portal day to a whole new year. And this is where Aries season starts fully. This is where the new astrological year, in my opinion, it kicks in full speed, high gear. And you're going to have to connect to that. And it's so different from the last 3 years even. Saturn was in Capricorn. Now we have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. Like, this is different, innovative. It's not the same world. In Saturn square Uranus, it's a whole new frequency shift that we're in right now. This is not energy that we've ever seen, with Pluto at 26 degrees, with Neptune at 21 degrees. These are major upgrades and evolutionary points in our life, and this is the absolute kickoff to propel you into that direction. And I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing and divine and beautiful, but we have to act on it. We can't just sit back and not do something better that we've already gotten all the information for. Whatever it may be in your life, you know there's better things that you can have, that you can do, that you can achieve, that you can push forward with. And it's about finding those things and empowering yourself through them. And if you have to make big changes to feel better, this new moon is giving you a ton of courage to do it. Emotionally, within your ego, within your drive, there's a gift for that transformation. Pluto is kind of a wrecking ball. It really depends on how you, I think this week it so depends on how you act with the harmonious aspects. And if you do act on what you want to define, that makes a huge difference as we come to this new moon. Because if you didn't take any action, Pluto might just come through hard. And that could feel like some sort of crisis in life. That could feel like, wow, why did the universe do this to me? But really it was like, well, the universe did it because you didn't define what you were called to. You didn't listen. And the universe gives us information in so many different ways, and all our lives are unique. So I don't want to say it's one thing or the other for anybody, but you know aspects in your life right now that you need to define and change, and what does need to be held on to and what needs to be let go of. And this is where you kind of have to make boss moves in your life. With Saturn trine the North Node. And there's gifts, like there's rewards for making those big decisions for yourself. And it's going to propel you into such an amazing place. And I think that there's a major gift from the universe coming this week, but you have to reach out and grab it, and that takes action. And that's what it comes down to, guys. I love you all very much. I do hope that you use this week and empower yourself in any way, shape, or form that makes you feel like you're pioneering and defining the connections for your best way forward, your most innovative and amazing truth, and that you're expressing that and being, so powerful and strong in it. Because that's what it's all about this week. And there's major upgrades to our ego, but in positive ways. Listening to what the divine wants our ego to do, not just doing whatever we please because, we can, because there's a sense of free will in the universe. This is about all the signs that you've gotten recently, as well as over the last year. We have to grow and learn from those and take that information and act upon it. That is evolution. That makes the universe happy. That will make you happy in the long run. It might be a tough decision, but if you know and feel that it's better for yourself, you have to put that step in front of the other step and go in that direction. I love you all very much. Have an amazing week, and I will catch you next time. Peace.